Well, good morning, everybody. I want to talk today about truck driving and pre-planning your day and the tools that I use in order to do that, um, and in life. So this is going to start out faith-based, and then how that plays into my day, and then also what I do to plan moving 80,000 pounds, 70 feet long throughout the day. I was just going to talk about that, but I'd be lying to you almost if I didn't share how I start my day. And everybody's different. So for me, it starts with my daily devotion. Kareen, you have the same devotional book that you read every morning. I read the same thing. I have for 23 years-ish now. If you're interested, hit me up. I can tell you, more about it. It's just a quick little read by Sarah Young, Jesus Calling. And what God does every single day is He gives me a nugget sometime. His word says all you got to do is seek, and He gives. His yoke is easy, and the burden's on Him, not us. So that's hard sometimes, but it is, and it gives me peace. So I read that every morning. God gives me nuggets. It's amazing how I'll read something that I wasn't planning on reading, and He'll touch my heart, and it's what carries me throughout the day. And it maybe changes my life, but maybe both. So for me, it's huge. That's how I start. Trucking. So we have a lot of tools to us truck drivers to get through the day. Like I said, 70,000 or 80,000 pounds up to for the standard truck. Talk about trucks too. As far as what we deal with and how much we can haul and how we load it and all that stuff. So up to 80,000 pounds. Traveling down the highway, side roads, country roads, parking lots, loading docks. Every day is a new adventure. I wake up every single morning and I got to take a moment to get my cup of coffee and get going. But it takes me a second to figure out where I'm at. Because if you've been on vacation, you've been in a hotel, and you wake up and you're like, well, this is strange. Every day's like that. It's like, where did I park last night? What town am I in? What city am I in? What state am I in? So it starts off very basic, of course. Where do I got to be and what time do I got to be there by? And then my tools are this. I use personally, Google Maps for a truck driver is dangerous. In the aspect of this, it's designed for cars, and it's not always accurate. It'll tell you to take some crazy routes, but what I do use it for is I will zoom in to where I'm picking up and where I'm dropping off and kind of get a general sense of the route. I've traveled now enough I know where I want to stop based on where I'm going and how much time I got to get there, but that doesn't always play a factor in it. So I want to know where my fuel stops are, how long it's going to take me to get there. I know, for example, that 300 miles for me, if I'm not in heavy traffic and stuff, takes 5 hours. So 4 hours gets me, 400 miles is 7 hours. I just know, I calculate based on that. So what time am I going to get there? Am I going to be there on time? Do I need to let people know that the traffic's too heavy, whatever, that I'm not going to make it, and I do that ahead of time. Anyway, so I calculate that. Again, obvious. Then I use the weather maps, and I got a few of them. I've got the Weather Channel, and that'll tell me, I can look at the radar, I can see what the storms are doing, I can see what the weather's forecasting for. I also have this wind app. If you've ever seen a semi on its side tipped over, that's could be you're hitting a corner too fast, obviously, or something happened, or wind is like this right there with ice and snow as far as what concerns me the most. If I'm super light for a semi in relative terms, I've got a sail going down the road, man, and if the wind does the wind show it's going to hit me from the side, or is it going to hit me straight on? Am I going to have gusts that are huge? So there's a chart that shows me if I'm 40,000 pounds, I'm pretty or below. The danger of tipping over is a lot higher in high gust winds. So what's the steady wind going to be, and what's the gust going to be? And can I run? And if the answer is yes, my weight's good. Is there a huge difference between the 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 steady wind and the gusts? So if it's about 10 miles an hour difference, I don't really feel it. I mean, I might be kind of fighting it a little bit going down the road and holding the steering wheel a little tight to the right or left. But if it's a huge difference, if it's 20 miles per hour difference, then all of a sudden, bam, that can hit you. So there's that to be concerned about. There's also, so I'll plan my route based on that. What other tools do I use? I've got a GPS that's designed for truckers. It shows me the route that I'm going to take based on the ability to make corners and what have you. So yeah, weather's a huge one. Fuel economy, where I'm going to stop for my fuel's a huge one. Let's see here. Am I going to make the delivery time on time? And I plan all that out. But weather's huge. Man, I know there's more to it. I haven't drawn a little bit of a blank here, so forgive me for not preparing better than that. But I think that's pretty well it. I want to know what's out there. Hills and descending, going up hills. How heavy am I? That's going to slow down my load. I'll talk about that later and why we have to do what we do. So all these things are factors. So I try to plan everything ahead of time in order to get to where I need to go. And that reminds me about God's word. God says it's good for us to plan. Do it. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's good, obviously healthy. With that in mind, keep in mind that it's God that is the director of ultimately what happens and where we are in life, and he cares about us, he loves us, so it's always in a good manner. So even if bad things happen, he turns them into good. So I maybe get stuck in a traffic jam, I might get stuck at a shipper or receiver waiting to get loaded and get frustrated with that. I gotta remember that maybe that's just life. Maybe it's God's protection. Maybe he's slowing things down a little bit, so I'm not at that moment where someone crosses in front of me and causes a problem. Maybe there's a reason I get to meet somebody that I didn't get to meet, that I wasn't planning on. So chill, man. Chill, relax, get through this day, have fun, try to enjoy those daily nuggets, man. Have a great day, and God bless.